I love true stories. They're always my favorite films because you get to learn something and you can't dispute what actually happened in someone's life. So, talk to me about Two Hearts. This is two different stories of families, and there's a mystery involved. So, share how much you can.
Yeah, for sure. I think that this is two love stories and kind of how they intertwine in a inspirational yet heartbreaking way that I don't think a lot of people will expect.
Did you know about Jorge and the Bacardi rum kind of family and what went on here? How did you get introduced to what happened?
No, I got introduced to it through reading the script and, working on the project. I hadn't heard about it myself before. And it was, such a interesting and amazing story that I was like surprised that I hadn't heard of it before.
Did you get the opportunity to meet your real life counterpart, Sam, or any of the Gregory family? And if so, what did that look like?
I didn't meet Sam. I did meet Chris's parents, which was amazing and so inspiring to, have them be there and see how excited they were that their son's story was being honored. And it was surreal and heartbreaking at the same time, but it was a really beautiful moment for all of us to be able to, share that and be there with them.
Miracles can and still do happen, and perspectives and ways that you choose to look at life. And I feel like, especially right now, as many of us are still quarantined and trying to navigate this new normal, this is such a needed ray of hope.
Totally. I think this film, kind of provides a little bit of an escape for people in a very trying time in our world. But I also think the movie can leave people feeling, a little bit more hopeful and a little bit more, love. And I think it's also a really good reminder to hug the people that you love because you don't ever want to take a moment for granted. And I think that this story really, powers through that point. And I think that people will walk away, feeling a little more grateful for the people that they have and feeling a little more hopeful that we'll get through this.
And one thing with your character is that her passion is kind of born out of a personal experience, and she takes that on because she feels very strongly about it. For you, I know you started acting very young. You were just a child, but was it a passion at that point, or did it evolve into one, or kind of what did that journey look like for you?
Well, I got scouted as a kid and I did commercials, and my parents, were the type of parents that put my sister and I in everything, sports and music and martial arts and all sorts of things. And acting was kind of something that fell into our laps. And my parents were like, okay, well, this is another opportunity. Let's explore it. But they were also very open to realizing that as we grew older, we would be able to make our own decisions on it. And so I started taking acting classes, and the more acting classes I took, the more I realized that I was willing to put in the work to do it. And I just never stopped. All throughout high school, this is what I did. And ever since I've been, putting my foot forward for this being what I love. And I just feel very fortunate to have gotten to this point now.
We're huge Riverdale fans, and we're excited for the fifth season to come back. It's slated for January, but with everything that has been going on in the world, what has production looked like?
I've been in Toronto since July filming the second season of my show Nurses. We're finally finished filming at the end of this week. And then I go back home and I will go back on to Riverdale, which is exciting. We were the first production in Toronto to start up again in this COVID world, and there's so many protocols and testing and things that are going on, but our show has gone smoothly. Things have gone really well. I'm just really proud to say that we've gotten to the end of it, and we did it.
Talk to me about, how was it logistically filmed? Was it filmed as kind of two separate films and then in edit they wove them together, or were you aware of the other love story that's taking place?
It was kind of like two different stories being filmed, like two different movies. I didn't get to work a lot with the other couple, which was unfortunate, even though we're in the movie together and they're there with me. But we hardly worked together. It was mostly me and Jacob, and then it was kind of filmed in an interesting way because there is a scene near the end of the movie where we all come together, a couple of scenes, and those were filmed nearer the end of production. So it was interesting because we had gone through our separate stories and then come together the way that it does in the film, and it was very interesting.
I'm glad to hear that you're healthy. I'm glad to hear that things are back in production. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course, thank you so much.